The following contest is set for one fall. Introducing first, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham.
Jonathan Gresham, a mad magician who will wrap you up, break you down, and make you tap out before you even know you're in danger. He represents technical wrestling at its most cerebral.
His opponent, representing TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr.
Speaking of cerebral, we're about to be subjected to a masterclass grappling session courtesy of Zack Sabre Jr. last night in Ontario, California. He attempted to become a two-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion against Hiroki Goto, the man who dethroned Sabre in February. Their match at NJPW's Resurgence ended with a double pinfall. Goto retained the belt. I talked to Zack Sabre Jr. earlier today, not in the best of moods and looking to take it out on a man who had Bloodsport earlier this year, defeated Gresham after a 15-minute instant classic. Don, they went to overtime, and it was Sabre, despite being known as a submission savant, who won via PKO. He won with a penalty kick knockout.
You know, I've been calling Zack's matches since 2017, Morrow, and I can tell you this, I've watched him blossom. He's always been a magician in the ring, but where he really took it over the top, put on some size, and got real aggressive with things like those PKs, things of that nature. He's just become a very competent striker now, and he's tough to beat.
And Gresham told me straight up, he goes, hey, if this becomes a pure striking battle, I'll be the first to admit Sabre does have the advantage, but Gresham is a pure pro wrestler. His belief is to bring wrestling back to its origins, always looking to set traps, always 2 and 3 moves ahead of his opponent. He calls this a game of human chess, always trying to find a weakness and opening. And of course, Zack Sabre Jr. has the size advantage in terms of height, but the power advantage might lie with Gresham, Don.
And we're here, I mean, we're happy to support the Pop Shop, one of my great staples growing up in Canada. Happy to have them as a sponsor here tonight for this excellent match.
Craft soda since 1969, the year I was born, and I know many in the crowd pop when we announced that this matchup would be taking place here at Northern Rising, and immediately the canvas is the mat, and they just paint, and sometimes you just have to allow them to do what they do best. And we can see it already, the knuckle locks and then the chain wrestling. And it ends up with Gresham now. He's known to go for an ankle lock, but Sabre back up to his feet.
Gresham's so physically strong and has the shorter limbs than Zack Sabre, makes it tough to get those submissions on him. And I think that's something that people didn't think about in this match, but Zack's got to be careful. He could get upset here very easily. Gresham is the real deal.
Gresham started amateur wrestling at the age of 9, also trains in no-gi jiu-jitsu. Admired the likes of Mil Mascaras and the intelligent, sensational destroyer Dick Beyer, of all people, to look up to. And of course, 2 very big legends in professional wrestling. And of course, the destroyer, his spirit, also a part of this vaunted venue, the venue formerly known as Maple Leaf Gardens. And there's the vaunted grappling of Zack Sabre Jr. on display.
It's interesting, you know, you see a lot of wrestlers are oiled up, and Zack does not use oil, does not use hot stuff, does not use anything on his body because he wants to be able to have a solid grip when he goes to hook those submissions.
The leader of the mighty Don't Kneel has tied his opponents in more knots than a Boy Scout as they collar and elbow tie up here. Both of them, again, trained in that British style of catch wrestling. But with Sabre, that's also punctuated by some hard-hitting offensive strikes, and there's a side wrist lock being employed by Gresham.
I think one of the advantages here is Zack Sabre wrestles a pretty full schedule over in New Japan, does some joint shows with AEW as well, and I think just probably a little less rust than Gresham right now.
Yeah, Gresham wanting to bend it like Gresham, known for those joint locks. manipulations. And it's all about escapology for these two, and that's, well, one way to try to escape, but the hold still being employed by Gresham on Sabre. Look at him monkey flip him out. Snap mare, and now it's beautiful counter, though, by Gresham, Don.
This is professional wrestling as an art form here when you've got two guys like this who are just so smooth and slick with the holds and the submissions and the counters.
And his goal is to keep Sabre grounded. Sabre now with the reversal arm wringer. Gresham, though, using his athleticism and agility to once again gain the upper hand. But there's the kick from Sabre, and finally able to break the hold. Much to the approval of this educated fan base here in Toronto that appreciate all styles of professional wrestling, and you are getting all styles here tonight at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Northern Rising.
Man, Gresham is jacked.
Oh, and Zack Sabre Jr. wanting nothing to do with a sign of sportsmanship. He's here to get the better of Jonathan Gresham, and according to my research at cagematch.net, should Sabre win tonight, they would be even 4-4 with one draw between them. They've had many, many battles, including that much talked about matchup at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport last month. Gresham, a former Ring of Honor world champion against a former IWGP world heavyweight champion. Where else are you going to see it but at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, Don Callis?
I feel like Zack has not gotten into his groove yet, and that's a testament to Gresham's strategy here. Kept Zack from getting too comfortable.
Gresham, see, wanting to ground his opponent, blocking Sabre from any vaunted offense.
I've literally never seen this counter before, so this is fun for me.
Oh, but now Gresham, the strength of Sabre, but the arm drag, and of course, Gresham known for those deep Ricky Steamboat-like arm drags, which can lead to success later. Beautiful offense here being displayed by Jonathan Gresham, and continues to target the left arm, but Sabre successfully targets Jonathan Gresham with that European uppercut.
Sabre's become a lot more strike heavy in his offense. And has needed that in Japan, Morrow.
Yes, and of course Gresham focusing on the arm because that can lead to success with the octopus stretch that Gresham is known for. And the striking advantage, Zack Sabre Jr. Vicious forearm.
More of a driving forearm, didn't quite get an uppercut. And you look, Gresham is so hard, so muscular, that actually Zack was holding his forearm after that, after hitting him in the chest.
And even from the bottom position, Gresham,
good way to pop an Achilles here.
Yep. But you saw Sabre, you neutralized the head, you neutralized everything else, and oh wow, trying to snap the ankle of Gresham. This is a submission attempt right here from this dominant position of Sabre.
Zack is almost like an orthopedic surgeon. He tests that ankle to see the range of motion, see how far before it's at its breaking point. Snap a tendon very quickly.
Force more taps than a maple tree. Thought it would be a relevant reference here in Canada, the venue formerly known as Maple Leaf Wrestling, and it's all about neutralizing it. And for Gresham and Zack Sabre, you talk to them, they're not about rope breaks, John. They don't want to use the rope to their advantage. They're all about escapology. They're all about using their body to escape, their mind.
Zack told me one time, he said, Don, I don't think there is one hold that's been developed that I can't escape from 3 different ways. Imagine the confidence you have going into a match when you believe that about yourself.
Yep, and now it's...
Look at this.
There's Sabre utilizing both the arm and the leg to neutralize Gresham into a bow and arrow type version of a modified STF, and now just putting the elbow and flattening Gresham, trying to get him to either verbally tap or physically tap, and there, just bending again. Nasty is right. And stomping on the arm of Gresham is Zack Sabre Jr. A grappling masterclass. PhD in technique and pain, Zack Sabre Jr.
Really torqued the elbow of Gresham, and I'm a little concerned he might have popped that tendon. Not a lot on that chop.
Yes, and Sabre wrenching on every limb. And he punctuates his grappling with sudden strikes. A beautiful takeover by Gresham.
You notice Zack wants to get back in the ring. He doesn't want to be out on the floor.
Oh, dropped down by Gresham using his feet to knock Sabre down onto the apron. And now Gresham, basement drop kick to the back of Zack Sabre Jr. Referee administering the count on Zack Sabre Jr. At a grueling matchup with Hiroki Goto less than 24 hours ago in Ontario, California. Now wrestling for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling in Ontario, Canada. And there's a kick by Gresham. Working on the left arm, deep arm drag again, wrenching on that left arm of Zack Sabre Jr. as Gresham.
Yeah, Zack is getting a little of his body part technology here put back on him as Gresham tries to break that arm down.
Wearing down the left arm, doing his early investing, putting it together to try to work towards he's known as the octopus, work towards the octopus stretch, which has resulted in so much success throughout his career. Side headlock employed by Gresham.
Used the side headlock to try to go back to the arm. Didn't work.
Oh, and Sabre just looked like he was going to gouge the eyes. Not above bending the rules when he has to. And it's Gresham keeping Zack Sabre Jr. at bay, and again working the lower limbs. Always fishing for a submission. Putting pressure on both legs. There's a cravat by Zack Sabre Jr.
There
and now
you go.
look at this, twisting Sabre into that proverbial pretzel is Jonathan Gresham.
He's got him controlled with only one hand if you look behind the head of Zack.
Go. Scarf hold there. Now neutralizing the left arm of Sabre. Sabre looking for the counter headlock. Pure wrestling. Oh, and there he bends it like Gresham.
Brutal.
That will affect Zack Sabre Jr.'s grip going forward in this match. Oh, my goodness. You just wonder, I mean, how much is a human being willing to go? The pain threshold is unbelievable for both Sabre and Gresham, Don.
See, Zack tried to get that foot up for leverage, and Gresham just one-handed put him in a toe hold, and Zack had to retreat.
The bridge by Sabre.
Great bridge, touched the nose there.
Now back up to a vertical base, but not for long, as deep arm drag employed by Gresham, who bars the arm. Now crucifix, rolling crucifix by Sabre. Sabre utilizing his legs to try to control the head of Gresham. Gresham has done a good job of targeting all areas of the anatomy. Now working on the leg again and back to the arm. Hammerlock.
I've got Gresham slightly ahead on points the last few minutes, Morrow.
Yes, coming from a point-based amateur wrestling style. But also working the submission game. No gi jiu-jitsu, without the gi. Now, as Zack Sabre Jr. neutralized both arms, and again about to try to, getting this.
I wouldn't get cocky if I were Gresham.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Oh! Dropping all of his weight down, and that impacting both of Sabre's arms, his shoulder, the back, and now the foot. I mean, it's just incredible, Don, as these putting Sabre into a torture chamber.
Well, it's usually what Sabre does to other people, so he's getting a little of his own medicine.
This is why they have been so even through their previous matchups, exchanging victories, and Gresham almost getting the victory there. So shoulder was down for 2. Another deep arm drag by Gresham. Reversal by Sabre. Head.
Zack's looking to get going here now. There you go. That'll do it. That'll start it.
And this will give Zack Sabre Jr. an opportunity to get the blood flow going again. Allow the limbs and joints to recover a bit. Already a grueling tactical matchup here in the PK that led to the victory, but that time right hand from Gresham. Gresham now has his leg. Ankle pick brings Sabre down into the side. Well, looking for that side headlock. No, it's a counter. And scissors by Zack Sabre Jr.
Got to be at about the 15-minute mark here, Morrow, and this typically is when Zack Sabre really starts going.
Both showcasing the vestiges of what has been a grueling battle. It's all about pure wrestling, center of the mat. Who is the better competitor? Who has the bigger, who has the higher pain threshold? And now Sabre torturing the left arm of Gresham as the opposite leg. And then, wrenching away, Don. Just separating the arm from the rest of his body.
Here's the thing. Gresham is incredibly well built, very muscular, but when you lift that amount of weight, it shortens the muscles, which means you're less flexible and have less ability to be able to withstand some of these torturous moves that Zack Sabre puts on you to stretch those muscles and tendons.
Gresham told me as well that he wants to start training in kickboxing to work on his striking game. Again, adheres to the strict rules of pro wrestling. There's a European uppercut, the striking now on display of Zack Sabre Jr.
Never been a fan of adhering to rules of any kind.
I understand that coming from you. I really do.
Gonna stomp the fingers here now. Look at this. Oh, Gresham now. That is a nasty, nasty stomp right at the shoulder insertion.
Cartwheel, escape leapfrog by Gresham. Well scouted deep arm drag attempt there, but did get taken over with the arm drag. And Gresham now rolling crucifix. Sabre counters. La Magistral rolling him through. Shoulders aren't down. Now it's Gresham with La Magistral cradle. There's the European clutch, taking a page out of Sabre's playbook. And now it's Sabre looking for the European clutch. Back and forth they go, Don.
Wow, just that close.
European upper, the tip up by Gresham. Then this is the European clutch. And it's over!
What a great win.
Incredible win for Zack Sabre Jr. out of nowhere, Don.
That was one of the most beautiful finishing sequences you will see anywhere in professional wrestling, courtesy of Zack Sabre Jr.
A grueling back and forth matchup, as advertised, a master class in grappling that ends with Zack Sabre Jr. stealing the pinfall victory from Jonathan Gresham via the European clutch. And Jonathan Gresham cannot believe what has just transpired. And Zack Sabre Jr.'s had enough of the referee, and he knows he's been in a battle and nursing the wounds of what was another highly technical duel with Jonathan Gresham. And Gresham wants Zack Sabre Jr. to shake his hand like a man, Don Callis.
I was never a fan of shaking hands before or after matches.
Sportsmanship, begrudgingly both earning their respect as Zack Sabre Jr. salutes Jonathan Gresham. And Don, let's go to what transpired at the end. with Zack Sabre Jr., the European clutch, the bridge. The shoulders were down for 3. Zack Sabre Jr. picks up the win.